Hi, I'm Brian from Hypnotherapy Changeworks. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, NLP master practitioner, and I'm also a senior lecturer at CPHT Hypnotherapy Training in Brighton as well. And this week, you might be aware, is Mental Health Awareness Week. And because of that, each night I'm going to be doing free relaxation sessions with you just to help you to feel calmer, help you cope better with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, and just help you feel generally more relaxed. And each day I'll also be giving you some information about mental health that you might find really helpful. Today I want to help you to understand anxiety. It's one of the main things that I see people for in my clinic, to be honest. And the thing with anxiety is there's a lot of people that don't just quite understand it. So you might have heard people saying things like, oh, you just need to be a little bit more positive. And, you know, they probably mean well, but it's not as simple as that, is it? And here's why. So to put it really simply, there are two parts to your brain, and that is really simplifying it. The first part is our intellectual brain, and this part is responsible for your creativity. It's responsible for your positive thoughts and your resourcefulness. So when we're in this part of the brain, we generally get things right in life. This part of the brain comes up with a proper assessment of every situation. It's generally quite positive. But there is a second part of the brain, and this second part is your survival part. And it's the part that we use predominantly when we suffer from anxiety. This primitive part, the primitive mind, looks out for danger or anything that could be perceived as a threat. Which is great, to be honest, if you're out in the wild with bears and tigers lurking around every corner. But it's not so good for our day-to-day life in and around Sussex because it can jump to wild conclusions about things that are, in reality, pretty safe. But the primitive brain does have to see things from the worst-case scenario. And if you think about it, it's a good thing that it does because it helps us to survive. The thing is, though, is usually it's balanced out by the more optimistic intellectual brain, which helps to make a proper assessment of the situation. So even if this part, the primitive part, is getting anxious and stressed, usually the intellectual part's able to step in and go, hang on a second, just take a step back from that. Let's review the situation and see that we're actually probably quite safe. So anxiety comes from being stuck in that pessimistic primitive brain too much. The good news is it doesn't have to be that way. So our brains have something called neuroplasticity. It's a scientific term, but essentially, if you break it down, it means that the brain is flexible. It can be rewired or remolded. In this case, to work more positively for you. There's a lovely phrase that I like is that neuroscientists use, and it says the brain is more Play-Doh than porcelain. So it's not fixed; it's actually completely remoldable. And one of the ways that we can do that is by doing the 3 Ps. And they are positive thoughts, positive interactions, and taking positive actions. When we do those 3 things, we produce serotonin. Serotonin is one of our happiness chemicals. When we have a good flow of serotonin and other positive chemicals, the primitive brain quietens down and we go into our intellectual brain. So have a think about maybe just even small things that you could do and recognizing 3 positives a day as well. That's a good thing to do to produce serotonin. But just to illustrate the idea of this neuroplasticity, there's a lovely metaphor that a neuroscientist called Pascal Leone uses. And he basically says, imagine like our brain circuits as like a ski slope. And you're up at the top of the ski slope here. Sorry about the terrible drawing here. So you're at the top of the ski slope, and down here is the ski village where every man and his dog goes. There's usually fights in the bars at the end of the night. It's a bit trashy. It's not really the sort of place that you want to go, but it's just where everybody goes. So this ski slope is well trodden down, and it's really quite easy to ski down this slope because the snow is compacted and it's been used time and time again. It's really quite easy to go down this path to Negativeville, we could call it perhaps. Now on the flip side of the hill, on the other side of the hill, we've got this lovely, apologies for my drawing here, but we've got this lovely village, and this village is where all the locals live. And the villagers are very welcoming of tourists, and they'd really like some of the nice tourists to come along there. And actually, you'd quite like to go to the quaint pub that has a roaring fireplace going and mix with the locals and sample their culture, perhaps. And the problem is, though, is because nobody really skis down this slope, the snow is quite coarse and it's not trodden in, and skiing down that is a real effort, to be honest. It's really hard work because the snow hasn't been compacted. But every time you try and ski down that path, the snow compacts a little bit more. And over time, actually, what you find is the snow compacts much more. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes to ski down that path to that lovely village where all the locals are. And at the same time, while you're skiing down this path isn't being used and the snow continues to fall. And it makes this path coarse and hard to ski down. And that's how the brain works. So the brain has neuroplasticity. So though we've got loads of neural pathways that we use, the one that we use most is the one that the brain favors because it's easier to use it. But actually, what we can do is we can rewire the brain over time. And actually, over a longer period of time, the brain will start to prune this pathway away. And really what we're left with is just that one down to positive film. So hopefully that's helped you understand how the brain works a little bit more. Okay, so just a couple of things to note then before we get into the relaxation today. So I want you to be somewhere where you're nice and safe, nice and comfortable, somewhere where you're not going to need to do anything else, certainly not driving cars or operating machineries. The best place is for you to be settled into a nice comfortable chair or lying on your bed. So I can't see you, so I need you to take responsibility for your safety now. The other thing that's worth mentioning is, of course, this isn't a hypnotherapy. This is a relaxation session. In a hypnotherapy session that I would do online at the moment or face-to-face in my clinic normally, there's lots more involved to it than this. So get yourself somewhere nice and comfortable. And when you've got yourself nice and comfortable, you can just close your eyes down for me. And as you do that, I'm going to start my music playing now. And that's just going to help you to relax even more. So just know that you can adjust your position both now and at any point during this process over the next 15 minutes or so. And I'm going to bring my mic a little closer as well, just so that you hear me even more clearly. So as you rest there now, breathing slowly and steadily, I'd like you to notice which is cooler, the inward breath or the outward breath. And you can continue to focus on your breathing now, breathing slowly and steadily. And I'd also like you to think about the top of your head. You see, many people don't realise that the tension often starts in the little muscles of the scalp. So I'd like you to think about those little muscles in the skin of your scalp and just allow them to let go and relax. Now all the muscles of your face, you can just let them go slack as well. Your forehead and your eyes and eyelids, the cheeks, the mouth and the jaw muscles. And you know, it's a wonderful feeling when you let your face totally relax, because you can actually feel the skin settling and smoothing out. And it might mean that your mouth opens slightly, but whatever's best for you, just let it happen. And clenching your teeth and relaxing your tongue, because the more you physically relax, the more you can mentally relax. Thinking now about your neck and your shoulder muscles and down into the tops of your arms, letting all tensions drain away as you think on down through your elbows, down into your forearms and down through your wrists and into your hands, right the way down into the very tips of your fingers and the tips of your thumbs. Just letting all of those muscles let go and relax. That's right. And once again, just focusing on your breathing for a moment now. This time, noticing that you're breathing even more steadily, even more slowly as you relax more and more. So you can let any tension in the chest area simply drain away as you think on down to your stomach muscles, letting those muscles relax too. Think down into your back now and the long muscles either side of your spine, just letting those muscles relax. And down through your waist, and down through your main thigh muscles as you think on down through your knees, down through the shins and the calves, just allowing all of those areas to relax and let go as you think on down through your ankles, down through your feet, down into the very tips of your toes. All the muscles of your body beautifully relaxed and easy, very lazy. And now you're so beautifully relaxed with nobody wanting anything, nobody expecting anything, and absolutely nothing whatsoever for you to do except to relax. And as you go deeper now, with each easy breath relaxing you, calming you, you can be aware of how comfortable and peaceful you're becoming as your body relaxes and your mind relaxes with it, filling you completely. And I'd like you to imagine that you're on a sailing boat, all alone, floating on a lake, all around are mountains, their steep sides covered with forests of pine trees, their peaks snow-capped. You sailed out into the very centre of the lake, enjoying the fresh crispness of the air, and the scent of the pine forest carried on the breeze that drives the boat, filling the sails at a gentle but exhilarating pace. The splash and the gurgle of the water as the boat cuts through the gentle swell, the creaking of the rigging and the crack of the sails as they fill with each gentle gust of air. You can be aware now of how good you feel, alone with your own thoughts, alone with the sounds of nature all around you. A calm, natural peace that knows no concerns or troubles. Nothing disturbs that peace. Nothing bothers you at all. Now the wind drops to almost nothing, and the sails flap limply as they empty the wind that drives the boat forward. The surface of water becomes calm, still, as flat as a mill pond. The surface ruffled only now and then by a gentle zephyr. You feel the sun warming your skin, comfortably warm, soothing and relaxing you, and the quiet surrounds you now, broken only by the gurgle of water beneath the hull, the faint sound of birdsong, the occasional splash as a fish rises to take an insect. Calm, peaceful tranquility surrounds you and envelops you. You lie down on a soft cushion on the bottom of the boat, unconcerned at the lack of wind, knowing that the engine is there and in perfect working order when and if required. You look up at the crystal clarity of the blue sky. Small clouds, perfect in white, hang above and around the tops of the mountains, visible from where you are so relaxed and comfortable. The still air carries the sound of some fishermen casting their lines from the shore, and there the distant tone of a church bell calms you, relaxing you more with each note. High in the sky, a jet trail marks the progress of an airliner, etching its progress towards the far reaches of this wonderful world. And you relax even deeper, feeling within a calm, comfortable heaviness that is so pleasant, so very nice. The boat drifts, rising and falling with the almost non-existent swell. And you're now looking too at the very tip of the mast as it sways gently. It appears to touch the clear blue sky above. The air is so clean here, you can taste it, and you feel the calm tranquility. Absorb that gentle peace, and you drift too with thoughts that are pleasant and calming. You breathe in peace and calm with each and every gentle breath, breathing out all anxiety and stress. Here you have time to reflect on those things that have caused you stress. You now have time to assess carefully, and with a clarity never before available to you, the importance and relevance of so many different things. You realise that you'd fallen into a habit of reacting in a manner which proved stressful for you. You've reacted to stress in the same way that a bull responds to a red rag or to the matador's cape, and you resolve now to ignore those red flags and to calmly reflect and decide on the most peaceful and effective way to live your life. Calmly, confidently, in control, knowing that you are in control of you and your life. Things that are stressful are so because we allow them so to be, and you are now that person who is aware that you do have a choice, and you choose to be calm and unaffected by the rush and the hurry. You choose to make unhurried and calculated decisions that are the right ones for you and those who are important to you. You can be aware now of the peace, the calm and the confidence that fills you, expanding within you, and you enjoy the stillness, the warmth of the sun, the subtle sounds of nature all around, the sights and the scents that can allow you to be aware of the larger world, the depth of water beneath you, the natural world at peace with itself, as all troubles and cares fade into unimportance, insignificance. You feel so much stronger now, aware that that strength comes from deep within you. It was there all of the time, hidden for a time beneath turmoil and stress, but now no longer shrouded within a veil of negativity and lack of confidence. It shines through, and you recognise that strength that is yours, and resolve now to use that which is yours to your highest benefit. And as the boat drifts, you know that it can be so easy to allow the prevailing winds to take you wherever they will. But in your vessel you have the power, when the winds blow, to tack and to steer, using the winds as you choose to guide which is the right way for you. And you have in reserve too that engine, that power which can mean to you that you have complete choice in the way in which you go. But it can be pleasant to drift, knowing that you can choose freedom, calm, confidence, and you will you not? If you ever feel burdened and stressed, you can choose to get into your boat and drift whenever you need to, whenever you want to, using the strength that is yours, and so feeling stronger and stronger every single day. And you know, one of the most important things in life is confidence. And we all need a little confidence from time to time, don't we? To help us deal with whatever life has in store for us. In fact, some of us may even need more confidence than others. And that's because we've forgotten just how confident we can naturally be. And you know, that confidence was always really there in the first place. We just forgot to look in the right place for it. We were looking on the outside instead of the inside. That's right. Because confidence is the key to success in our lives. Confidence in our ability to do those things that we want to do, those things that we need to do, to enable us to achieve any goal or target that we set. And do you know where that confidence comes from? That's right, it comes from within. And there's nothing magical about it, although there are times when that's exactly how it seems to work. And we can access this almost magical feeling of confidence whenever we want, simply by using our mind in a positive and meaningful way. And you know, it's what we tell ourselves that really affects us in our daily lives. What we tell ourselves really does determine how we feel. So if we tell ourselves that we feel anxious, worried, fed up, then that's exactly how we're going to feel, isn't it? Whereas if we tell ourselves that we're going to feel calm, we're going to feel relaxed and in control of ourselves and our lives, and guess what? That's how we're going to feel. And it's true, isn't it? What we think and say to ourselves affects the way that we feel physically. Those unwanted negative thoughts and feelings generate unwanted emotional and physical responses in our bodies. So what we tell ourselves really does have a tremendous impact on our lives, and determines not only how we feel, but ultimately what we can or can't do. So why not begin by using the power of your mind to tell yourself you can start again from this very moment, living your life each day in a full and meaningful way, enjoying each and every moment, appreciating the wonder of being alive and well, here and now, realising there's no need to worry either about anything that's happened in the past, or maybe more importantly what might happen in the future, because we both know it might never happen. And as you rest there now pondering on these thoughts, I'd like to tell you a story about two trees that grew by the bank of a river. There was a tall tree and there was also a small tree. And the small young tree, well, it knew how to wave and dance in the breeze. It knew how to be very flexible, and when the wind blew it enjoyed changing its perspective. It enjoyed just dancing and moving and dancing, and it would see so many things when it changed its perspective. And that big tree, well, it was so inflexible. It was a little bit nervous about changing its perspective. It was a little bit scared of it. So one day I asked the small tree, well, how do you do that? How do you change the way you see things? Change the way you enjoy things? And the little tree said, well, you just kind of got to let go and just let it happen. And so the next time when the wind blew, the big tree really wanted to let go. And the little tree said, you can do it. You can make those changes. No need to be afraid. Your roots go down deep into the ground, and you can have inner stability even though you're moving with the winds of change, enjoying that dance, that inner dance of life. And you can allow that to happen all by itself. And that big tree was so happy, feeling its way into a new way of seeing things. And because it had a new way of seeing things, it also had a new way of recalling things, bringing back images when it wanted to recall the dance. And the big tree also learned, as it got more flexible in its behaviour and its perceptions, that what it thought was on the horizon was really just a limitation that it was placing upon itself. And as it danced and swayed and danced, it could see further and further, fields beyond towns. It could even see the sea in the distance. And it was so happy to have this new way of seeing things, so happy to know it could recall in a new way pleasant images and pleasant memories. And you know, the past and the future are only products of our thoughts, interpreted by what we tell ourselves, moment by moment. And as our lives consist of these moments, then life can pass us by very easily. So if we spend time using our thoughts to worry about the past or the future, then we become trapped in that cycle of negative thinking. It's so much easier to become involved in the moment, completely involved in the moment, completely involved in everything that's happening around you. And when you do, you'll find it so much easier to remain calm, comfortable, and so relaxed, at peace with yourself and everything around you. And you can just continue to drift and dream about this wonderful future ahead of you, all of those things that you can deal with in a much more calm and effective manner from this point on for a short while. And if you're listening to this as you go to sleep at night, you can continue to just drift off into a wonderful, deep, relaxing sleep. And you can just allow your mind to ignore everything that I say from this point on. It's not relevant to you. However, if you would like to awaken now, in your own time, when you're ready to, and only when you're ready to, you can open your eyes and come back into the room, feeling calm, relaxed, happy, and confident. Okay, lovely. So don't forget, we're back tomorrow from 7:30 for another Facebook Live relaxation session. I do hope you can join me for that. If you've got any questions about anything that I talked about at the beginning of this video, you can always get in touch with me. You can message me through the Facebook page, Hypnotherapy Changeworks on Facebook, or you can email me info@hypnotherapychangeworks.co.uk. I really hope that you got some benefit from tonight's session, and I hope that you can join me for one of my other sessions later on in the week. Until then, have a lovely evening, and I'll hopefully see you real soon. Take care then. Bye-bye.